5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
On the edge of the box is Madden. Madden trying to manufacture the shot, gets it away, it's there! Oh my word! What a goal from Paddy Madden! The Irishman strikes again! And is that the goal that's going to send Stockport County back into the Football League?
I'd already started having like tentative conversations about changing the goal on the opening titles, and so could be worse. It could be Philip Schofield, so swings and roundabouts. Hello and welcome to the Scarf Bagara War. Burnt but not beaten, singed but not. Let's do it. I'm Nick Lee. No Russ this week, and we miss him deeply, as the past 30 seconds will tell us. Joined this week by Hannah Brown and Mark Brockbank, who also were both at Wembley. I saw you both yesterday. How are we? How are we feeling?
Bit singed, mentally, physically, skin, alcohol levels. Yeah.
My
sunburn,
my sunburn came 24 hours later, so didn't learn from all of the singed skin yesterday, which feels like an achievement.
Effort.
It could be worse. It could be worse. It's fine. It's fine. Well, we were talking off air, and we decided that I was judiciously philosophical about it. So I'm
We couldn't match that.
No,
didn't even bother watching Sheffield Wednesday today because I thought, Sodom. Well, I watched a bit of it and then thought nothing's happening. I'll go and make myself through for penalties, and then they scored.
Yeah, I did watch it for reasons I'm going to explain in a bit, which is related to yesterday. And karma has been served up in a dish cold. So there we go. But I'll come on to that.
Excellent. Oh, good. Thank you to everyone tuning in. We've got Claire, we've got Ian Dowden, we've got Phil Lloyd, we've got John Billsbury, the usual crew, and some unusuals as well. Don't forget, we don't only just turn up for the big occasions. We do this every single bloody week. Probably another couple of episodes to go before we have a bit of a break. Hopefully, we're going to try and get something very special happening next week. And if you want early access to the audio episodes, you can subscribe to our Patreon for £3 a month, and you get loads of other bonus stuff on there, including a 20% discount on merch. This is the old stuff. This is the old stuff I've got lying about. I'm like Del Boy. Right, let's get into it. Who's going first? Tell me about your day, Hannah. Obviously, you both saw me at Wealdstone, and we know that's the highlight of the day. So everything else from there.
I know it went downhill, but didn't it, really?
Yeah. Wealdstone was lovely. It was nice to have a sunny day out with my friends. Football, and it's the whole. I think, I kind of said tongue in cheek afterwards that I'd rather have gone out in the semis than this, but actually, it's a nice day out. It's an occasion, and it's nice for people who haven't been to Wembley before, people who haven't kind of expect to or hope for a different outcome. So yeah, it was a nice day out, and I think we looked tired on the pitch. I think probably some of that from last week, a bit of a hangover, injuries still being carried. I've got some thoughts about the 6'9" goalkeeper and the shithousing during the penalties. But other than that, I think probably it was a fair result.
Will that involve getting in the reses, that, Hannah?
Yes. Thomas Holy.
I better change mine.
Oh, no, really?
I've got one. It's okay.
I also have a Wembley themed get in the reses as well, so it'd be interesting to see. There's quite a long list of stuff that can get in the reses from Wembley, to be honest. I don't. You get the excitement as you're coming down Wembley Way. That'll always be unmatched. But then once you get in there, it's just like an airport lounge, and it's just very sterile. It's hard to get an atmosphere going because it was so hard to pick exactly where you wanted to sit, and it's just a bit. Even when we scored, I expected like full on. As much as I hate to use the phrase, limbs. I expected limbs. Yeah, none of that. I did a bit of a scream, and then it just seemed like. And I always thought with us having VAR, I thought I was gonna have the thing of not knowing whether to celebrate or not, but I just went for it. I just embraced life and went for it. I shot my shot.
So I forgot about the VAR, celebrated, and then caught myself on, and then started having to relive the goal, thinking, is there anything about it? Looked at big screens, nothing happening there. So thought,
I didn't know whether there was supposed to be some big, like, heartbeat thumping, like exciting countdown, because I don't think I've been to a game with VAR before.
Well, if it heartbeat thumping, it would have been played over the PA system, no doubt, like everything else yesterday.
The drum sounded like a heartbeat. It didn't sound like a drum. The acoustics were really weird. And like you've mentioned, the atmosphere, it was flat. Claire has a lot to say about the atmosphere. But I think when you've got maybe 5,000, I think, was it Philbin said on Twitter, like we've got 5,000 like proper core county supporters. When you dilute them in 15,000 and weird acoustics and people spread out, I know people that didn't really watch the second half because it was too hot and they kind of sat in the concourse, then it's not really surprising, I think. Bloke behind me. So I did my thing like I did last week of turning round to watch our penalties. We were trying to replicate everything that from last week, just in case. Although on what day was it? Saturday, Claire was like, we are not superstitious people anymore. It doesn't matter. We can just do whatever and there are no consequences. There are 15,000 people, can't all have their own superstitions, but like in the moment. So I turned around and then got fixated by the bloke behind me who had a Manchester United signet ring on, and then was like, oh, is this why there's no atmosphere? How many more Manchester United signet rings are there at our Wembley end?
I mean, research people.
Yeah, replica shirts, Hannah, but checking signet rings. I mean, come on.
I wouldn't have noticed it.
we're very petty people, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there was plenty of chance to check tattoos out yesterday because
yes,
a lot of flesh about,
Although the lads in front of me, I don't know whether you would have seen them, Nick, because they were probably more closer to you. I don't know how hot it was. I was boiling, and they're still there in their jackets.
Oh, I know.
I saw jeans and a puffer jacket at one point.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the uniform of the discerning fan, though, isn't it? The jeans and puffer jacket.
I know it's like the get the badge in thing, but seriously, it was boiling. I was concerned for their health and safety.
You gonna get them some water?
Yeah. Went on.
They stopped giving out water as soon as I decided I should probably rehydrate myself during extra time. They stopped giving water out.
Yeah.
But I had to go under the tap like a child.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm going to come down with like several waterborne diseases now. That's the legacy of my trip to Wembley. There's some people behind me who kept on singing Hinchcliffe in the middle of our goal, and it just really, really angered me. But I mean, for all the talk of the two-team tossers. Oh, my friend Emma, who's just got rid of me from her house and is watching. She bought a drink at Wheelston next to someone who told me he was going back down to Wembley to watch City next week, which brings me on to my next point. There's not as many as there could have been, because there could have been a lot more people like that. But with City United both being there next week, it's expensive due for one day. Never mind two. So it could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse.
Well, I was joined by two Barnsley fans, quite literally. They wanted my seat and my son's seat, which I'm going to be honest, weren't our seats, because our seats were crap. So we moved around to be a bit closer to where we thought it might be less crap. And that was pretty crap, but particularly crap when less than a minute before kickoff. There's some in there going past.
Not in his boxers.
Less than a minute before kickoff. These two guys just come and announce they're our seats. So I just said, look, mate, Stuart said sit anywhere. He didn't, but, the stewards didn't say anything because they didn't speak to you once you'd done your metal detecting, did they? And he was like, but they're our seats. I went, you've turned up a minute before kick-off. There's about 20,000 spare seats. So I gave it till the drinks break. And of course, we were in like block 112, 113 at that point, seated, but everyone stood up. So there's four of us stood in the space of two seats. And I can tell by the fact they're not joining in any conversation or anything, they're not county fans. Yorkshire accents. So I checked them out, challenged them. Oh, well, Barnsley fans were down for the weekend, we picked your end. Like, okay. So there was a standoff for 21 minutes until the water break. And then we retired to the safe standing area, which was great by comparison.
I'm a big fan of the safe standing area.
I liked it too.
Marvelous.
I liked the rail to hold on to. Like, it felt like stability.
My tears are on that rail. I had a good cry onto that rail after the penalties. Genuinely, I've never been one for crying. I've cried at like high points at games in the past, but I've never, not since Tony Dinning got sent off against Middlesbrough. I think that was the last time I cried at a low point. I didn't even cry when we got relegated out of the league or the National League, just because it felt inevitable at that point. But yeah, I did have a little. But all day long, well, all week, I've been saying, if it goes to penalties, we're not winning, because we're not winning 2 shootouts in a week. It just doesn't happen. No. We're not Germany.
We tend to replicate England, don't we? Season after England and all that kind of stuff. And England never win 2 penalty shootouts on the trot either. So, we're just carrying on our replication. But the Barnsley fans, they refuse to budge, let's just say. So I said, look, all the best tomorrow. And they went, does this mean we win? So I parted with, we've won this one. Let's see about tomorrow.
So it's on you, Mark.
2 seconds from time, karma struck.
See, you've done, I wish I'd known. I would have put a bet on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's face it, not a lot else has gone our way this weekend. So maybe I'm claiming that as a very, very small victory. And then the cheeky bastards turned up in another block in the second half, sat somewhere else. I mean, you didn't even want the seats.
Is it just a sponsored annoying of people that they're doing?
Absolutely. So I was all Sheffield Wednesday today as a result. There we go. Yeah. But no, the safe standing, not bad at all. Nice rail, half-time seat, half-time and extra time seat.
Yeah, me too.
Seat. I got to sit on it. I got way more for my money out of the seat than you normally would, so it's all good.
Well worth it. Yeah, I spent when it got really hot in extra time. I was kind of slumped at that point. I was ready for my bed. My head hit the pillow at 11 o'clock last night, and I went to sleep. That's the earliest I've gone to sleep since I was a child.
Yeah, our coach got back to our original point at 20 to 11. So yeah.
At least you weren't on one of the coaches that didn't turn up in the morning. That was a shock reading that on Twitter when I just woken up. Christ.
They all got there, I think. And then we saw one minibus and I think one car broken down on the way as well. So hopefully they got there too.
That's bleak, that, of all the days for that. But by the sound of it, the official coaches turned up, and instead of waiting to see which coach turns up at first and then slapping the number on it, the coaches came from the depot with the numbers already on. So you had like number 17 parts at the front, like number 6 behind it, number 1 at the back. It's just, come on, help us out. It's 5:30 in the morning. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I was about 3 cans deep by then, mate.
Well, yeah. I made the mistake of having just cleaned my teeth and then opened up a can of dark fruits. And that first one took me about 45 minutes to get through, but it's all right. I powered through. Don't worry about me. It's fine.
I was worried.
Yeah. Just in case you're thinking, "Whoa, is Nick all right?" I mean, I'm not, but it's not. It's nothing to do with that. So onto the game slightly then. Performance for you. Yeah, the game that happened, the game that broke out during our piss up.
Are you going, Hannah?
Well, you go first this time.
Okay, game. Changed with the subs, didn't it? Really, we were kind of looking like we'd get over the line with, and then we changed it. We changed system. We changed shape and conceded pretty much straight away. It was, and then I just didn't feel we had anything on the pitch that was going to win us. Then Collar just looked like he's either playing with injections, playing with a transfer in mind, playing with an injury still lurking. You know, I don't know. I think most people know the rumours and so on, but he's probably the one player left on the pitch. You're thinking, you've got to get us over the line here. You've got to create something. As Noel looked like a man who'd been forced to play for the last month, injured. He couldn't get beyond his fullback, and Rydell obviously started to struggle to affect him. We just got camped, didn't we, in our own half, and Stretz couldn't get hold of it, and it was inevitable that I was
genuinely thought at one point.
Say again, Nick.
I genuinely thought 10 minutes ago. I thought we might actually hold on here. We might do this, and then looked away for a minute, looked back at the pitch, and they'd scored.
Yeah.
Their subs were much more effective, I think, than ours. And I think it's funny because, you know, people criticise Charlie for late subs generally, but yesterday they were maybe like Paddy looked like he was doing fine and playing a role, but he was whipped off, and we lost the pace when Tanto went off.
Tanto was the main.
That's it. That's exactly it. He was absolutely bossy. They were terrified of him. They were too scared to get too far up the pitch in case it left him some space behind. And then as soon as he went off, it gave him carte blanche, you might say, if you were sophisticated, but I'm not. But it gave him carte blanche to push forward a bit.
Huntington for them was absolutely out on his arse from about 70, 80 minutes.
That's the same Huntington who played for us, isn't it?
Yeah, when he was about 19, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not surprised because he's about 56. It will be now.
Yeah. I think he played for Leeds in the Prem before they got relegated, dropped down all the divisions, and came back again. So he's sort of genuinely probably sort of Harry Kewell, Alan Smith, that kind of era, playing for Leeds in the Prem. So yeah, he's about 53. Yeah.
And now he's got a promotion under his belt. But I mean, with it being out of the three sides in the playoffs with us, Carlisle are the one. Certainly wouldn't have enjoyed losing to Salford in a final. That would have been a real low. But Carlisle, yeah, and their fans on the train on the way back though, they looked like they'd lost.
We said this at the service.
So weird.
Yeah, really miserable. And someone said I can't remember whether it was to Sam or Claire, we're just expecting to go back down. But still, enjoy your moment.
Yeah. Oh, we'll have it then. If you don't fancy it, put us up there. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, they were sort of joining up with us on Wembley Way. So I'm thinking, well, it's taking us about 10, 15 minutes to get out and walk out of the ground. And you're already out the ground.
Yeah.
So what have you done? Like, celebrated for 20 seconds until Free From Desire finished, and then
we continued playing. We loved Is It County or Carlisle on the way down because blue and white scarves. Like, and has it got a bit of red? I think that one's got some red. That's Carlisle. But there was one bus that we went. Was it a bus or a car? And they obviously could see our blue and white scarf, and so they're waving nicely, and then realised that Claire's like sticking a V's up, and the woman was like appalled. So I'm sure that they enjoyed that particularly. But we were playing it on the way back as well. That's how quickly they were out. I mean, we'd gone to Wealdstone, and
if I can wade in on that one, Hannah, definitely the toughest Is It Carlisle or County shout was the Wembley t-shirts, which were absolutely identical except for the badge. Not realising this, I'm talking to some older fans on the tube because they've got Wembley shirts on. Haven't looked in detail because I didn't feel I needed to, and just found it strange that they were talking about County like they'd never seen them, and then clocked that they were Carlisle fans. With the exact same temple t-shirt, but a Carlisle badge. So it's like, you're not just day trippers who know football. Yeah.
What got me with the t-shirts was it says at Wembley Stadium, powered by EE. They had to get the little sponsorship thing, and I couldn't get reception in there. I was meant to be meeting people and like meeting down the corner. I had to go to a certain spot in the gents' toilets to be able to get reception. So I've got a reputation now.
I could get reception in the stands, but couldn't get any in the concourse.
Oh, should come in the gents for me, Mark.
Steady, Nick.
We'll drill a little hole in the wall.
I'm on EE, so that kept me away from the gents' toilets, which is something that I'll be forever grateful for now.
Yeah. Oh, it was like the last days of Rome in there. You've never seen anything like it. Like Sodom and Gomorrah. It's horrible. Oh, never again. No. Well, we'll be back next year for the Wouldn't it be nice to go back next season for the Papa John's Trophy final on our way to winning automatic promotion?
No. My kids have been to Wembley now. They don't need to go again.
And everyone's been to Wembley and lost, so they can never go again because I'm back on the superstitions.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. I was 2 out of 2 before yesterday.
I was
so now
1 from 4, I think. So
now we know who to blame, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that was.
I think the whole Wealdstone thing beforehand kind of. I had a fair few nerves like the night. Well, the night before was just a nightmare getting to sleep because I did that thing of you know, when you're like, well, if I fall asleep now, I get 6 hours. Well, if I fall asleep now, I get 5 hours. And next thing you know, it was like 1 o'clock, and I was like, oh god, I'm getting 4.5 hours. But then when we got to Wealdstone, it kind of brought it home. Just like a year ago, we were playing there in a competitive game. You know what I mean? And it got some nice Nuneaton vibes of like non-league clubs just thinking, yeah, they actually. But Wealdstone haven't. They haven't had a winner until today because they had Coventry fans there on Saturday, us, and Sheffield Wednesday today. Must have gone for the blue teams.
Well, I was going to say Coventry, us, and Sheffield Wednesday were all blue as well. So it was so they didn't have to redecorate between. It was clearly efficiencies.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's nice little pit stop. It did remind me that I'm not a fan of London. We got shouted at by a cyclist when we were getting in our Uber from Wealdstone to Wembley. He came past in all his high vis.
We got an Uber from Wealdstone to Wembley.
Just like to drop it in there, you know. just drop it in there, yeah. But
what was wrong with
the Uber came? He was shouting at us because there was bad traffic and there was too many cars on the road. I was like, the Uber was literally a Tesla. We're doing our bit. We didn't specifically request an electric taxi, but it came and it was. So,
whereas in Stockport, the best you get for that is a Prius from about 2004 at best.
Yeah, that's the best you're getting. Absolutely the best you're getting. Yeah, there's a few people behind us who got very angry after the penalties as well. But one of them during the first half, he looked at his phone. He said, "Oh, Anthony's back for the cup final next week." So we knew already where his loyalties were lying. And then they just got so angry at the end. It's fine, it's all right. From where we were a year ago to here, I mean, we've got to put up with the Wrexham circus next season, haven't we? But
yeah,
they don't seem that bothered though. They definitely weren't taking an interest in that game yesterday all over Twitter.
Barely, and Salford as well. They didn't care either.
I mean. Let's just thank our lucky stars that there wasn't like 3,000 Salford fans rattling around in that end, and it was a couple of proper clubs instead.
Will we not be moving the Salford Wrexham game to Wembley next year so they can do full cup final coverage with cameras on the
we
buses?
We should just let them two have their own league. They should just play each other every week on telly, and the rest of us can get on with it.
Yeah. I was talking to a Salford fan last night, and he's like, "Oh, watch! It'll be County and Wrexham for the season opener live on TV." It's like, "Oh, I thought it would be more likely to be Salford and Wrexham." But interesting that they've got their own chip on their shoulders as well.
What are the chances of you knowing the only Salford fan? Chatting to the one Salford fan.
It was Will, actually. Will from here.
Well, Will's all right. Yeah. Will from here. That'll be his legacy.
He'll always be Will from the Colchester commentary.
Yes, yeah. Quite right as well. You should be proud of that. So, something that was a bit off-putting, seeing the pictures of Liam and Sam and John Kieran all in like club suits and stuff like that. Didn't like that. If we're going down the superstition road, then
it was nice though. It was like
it did look nice
thing for them, and like they've done the content this year from the club side has been brilliant,
absolutely outstanding.
Yeah,
and Tom Beresford's videos as well. They've been amazing as well, haven't they? It is Tom, isn't it? Yeah, Tom.
so. Yeah.
does the inside or behind the scenes ones and so on.
It's good for people like John and Sam and Liam for them to have to, as fans as well, to have to suffer us at our lowest ebb, and then they've been there all the way through it, doing a great job, and it feels like that they're being rewarded as much as we are, and quite rightly as well. It's I've seen Steve Bellis doing the media rounds beforehand as well.
But on a similar vibe, I thought they did Kenny Boxall or Boxall, depending on that. I thought they did him over with that team announcement before.
Yeah.
He got him pens and pencils. He didn't get e-cigarettes in, and and then they moved the video for his announcements, and then he forgot one, and felt for him. Thought, he's the main man, and you've done him up like a kipper here live on screen.
No respect.
Yeah. What I'd have done if I was Ken, I'd have just walked in and gone, right, I'm Kenny fucking Boxall. This is how we're doing it.
Absolutely.
And just we'll get that DJ binned off. You can sod off.
Yeah.
Go and play your music, walking lady.
I've seen a few posts about the DJ. Yeah.
I think that leads us on nicely to getting the reses, because
already.
yeah, because that's exactly what I'll be dumping in there. Awful. If I never hear Free From Desire again, it'll be.
I feel like I've been to something else recently that had the DJ, maybe England Ladies, and again that kind of like feature side of the pitch. It's very odd.
Football's not for families, is it?
No, it's not for dance music. It's for like 90s indie anthems and
it was almost
Hi-Ho Silver Lining.
It's almost like they decided there won't be any atmosphere. They're not going to fill it. We need to pump out these tunes till 10 seconds before kickoff, and then let their lame fans take over. And it was just impossible. It was,
I learned something from the DJ that I didn't realise. I thought Free From Desire, she was singing about her man having a trombolese, and I thought a trombolese was like some fancy musical instrument, and it's strong beliefs.
It's not tambourine.
Genuinely, like, it's not tambourine either. No.
Trampoline.
Tambourine. Oh, trampoline. No, strong belief. Not trombolese. Not trampoline. Not tambourine. So we've all learned something from our trip to Wembley.
I feel like
I didn't realise Kaz has said that she was wheeled around. I thought she was like a static DJ with a decks like.
Oh right. Oh, I thought they meant she was in like a wheelchair, and I thought I'd just like slagged off a disabled person on the podcast. I thought that's some care in the community thing.
No, I'm worried. No,
like mobile decks. Yeah.
No, it was. I think wheeling around she was parked on the opposite side to the on the halfway line on the opposite side to the teams, and then they kind of wheeled around when she'd finished. So she came back. She came past as the national anthems and things like that were being belted out. Wheeled past in front of us, but then proceeded to play again at virtually every possible opportunity from the tunnel area or something, I think. So, yeah.
I mean, some of us don't have the profile to get wheeled around all day. Well, apart from me, Tesla, obviously, but other than that,
I don't think anybody wants to wheel me around all day. That's a big ask. Now going back to the game, though. What was that, Hannah?
I said she had a lovely county-coloured top on. I mean, I'm sure they decided that it was blue for Carlisle as well, but at least it was the same colour as your T-shirt. Like, single strap number, very county-esque. Didn't help us, but, thought it was there.
Not a lot did help.
I'll put single strap numbers on my list of things that I can't wear to Wembley next year because of.
No, you should start. You could make the Scarf Bagara ones for merch and whack them on the Etsy shop. It'd be great.
Yeah,
might as well. I mean, it's better than any other idea I've had for merch. We do have some natty Ben Hinchcliffe t-shirts, so that's going to be awkward. So buy them now before. Like he doesn't get a new contract or whatever, and we're stuck with him.
No, we'll do release and retained, won't we? But it would be terrible.
That would be on a par with human trafficking as like bad things that could happen this week for me. Yeah, he made a fantastic save yesterday as well. It kind of got. I mean, I've only watched our goal from the highlights. I couldn't stomach anything else.
I can't watch it.
I've watched the short highlights. Yeah, the 3-minute ones. That was enough. And yeah, it's an outstanding save. It's Seaman-esque from the cup semi-final. Yeah, steady. Clawing it out. Yeah, nothing more. Yeah. No, it was a quality save and kept us in it. Got us to penalties. And then he went the wrong way in every one of them, bless him. Which apparently is something to do with the fact that he didn't have it written down in his water bottle. And with all the money we've got, we should pay analysts to check penalties more closely and have it written on his water bottle. Nothing to do with the fact that they haven't had a penalty shootout for X number of years.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, I thought what we were left with in terms of penalty takers was a bit, obviously, no Paddy. Miles with the best penalty of the day, though.
Not Stretch?
I didn't see any of them.
Oh, well, yeah, we've got the
although I turned around and the bloke behind me was like, you're facing the screen now. Like, oh, yeah, shit.
Because we did that. We the first few incidents, you're trying to crane your eyes to watch it on the big screen at the other end, and then realise you could just turn around and watch it on the equally big screen 20 feet above my head. Yeah. So
I noticed the big screen didn't show crowd at any point. Yeah, it was very, very good. There was a lot of top corner penalties, actually. That shit me up attempting that. I mean, mainly because I'm not a professional footballer, but if I was, I still wouldn't fancy that. I'd still be down the middle.
I don't think anyone really went down the middle. I mean, a lot went just off centre, but I don't think anyone went properly down the middle. And there wasn't any real put your foot through it ones. There wasn't a Paddy or Sars from last week from either team, really. Penalties, eh?
I'll be glad. I'd gone all my life without seeing us. I've never seen a penalty shootout live until this season, and now I've seen 3.
I miss Leicester, but 2 was enough, thanks.
I miss Leicester as well.
So. The Leicester one was the worst one of the lot because it was quite clear their keeper could only dive one way, and we still decided to hit it that way. Just I think 3 or 4 penalties just all went that way and were saved. Just basic stuff. But yeah, well, you'd hope we'll be stronger for the experience. I think we're more prepared for League 2 than we would be for League 1 if you were to drop this current squad in. So a few, which will get us on nicely actually to talking about the retained and release list, which we should. I mean, knowing our luck, they'll probably release it just as this pod's finished. That's
ready with your breaking news ticker thing, just in case.
Yeah. No, that's just reserved for celebrity deaths now. that's all I'm using it for. Yeah. Let's just hope Philip Schofield doesn't do a Caroline Flack because I'll be breaking. As I got warned by a friend of mine because I was talking too much about Philip Schofield. He said, "You're part of the problem, Nick. I'm part of the problem." So that was nice to hear. Yeah, that was nice to hear just after we'd lost on penalties. Getting a message saying that. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah. So what are we expected to see then? You'd imagine there's going to be a fair bit of turnover, I think, because we've got a lot of players coming into the last year of the contract. The older players got decisions to make on loan players, including a certain Ben Barclay who's boiled some piss.
He has boiled a little, hasn't he, today? Or was it yesterday?
He must know he's
got a year left in his contract, hasn't he? So it might not have been the wisest tweet he's ever sent. Hence, maybe why officially it's now a tweet that doesn't exist anymore. But there's plenty of screenshots of it going around, so that's fine.
Just a few. I've definitely posted worse on Twitter. That's why my level of fame can't go. I mean, fame. Can't go past this because I'll end up on a Strictly in like 10 years. That's the dream. That's the reason I want to be famous, to go on Strictly. And then in 10 years' time, I'll be warming up for my first week, and then they'll find some tweet of mine, and that'll be it. Just from the early days of Twitter. But I can't. It's too hard to scroll all the way back and get them. There's about 18,000 on there. I can't be doing that.
No. You feel sorry for the journalists.
Yeah.
Feel sorry for the journalists who've got to go through 18,000 tweets to find something
But
incriminating.
if they're going to go through that, then more power to them. Fair play.
Right.
You've put the hours in. Like if you're going to scroll through some of the shit I've posted over the last 10, 11 years, then
And just type Schofield in the search, and then
Yeah, there's some keywords you could go for, aren't there?
I was very careful not to commit libel with the Schofield stuff. So it might be. I was on Twitter when the Jimmy Savile thing broke. But heady times.
So
It
you
wasn't
are-
the lawless wasteland it is now.
I think we might need to get back to football.
Football, right? So Aaron Rowe.
Barkley, if he comes back, does he even do pre-season? Is he shipped out? Where are we sitting?
I think he knows he's going already. Probably to
Yeah,
Carlisle.
I think so. Yeah.
Year left on his contract. He'll get a fee, can't they? So
yeah.
He's been with us 2 years and has had more of a connection with Carlisle than he's played a handful of games at most with us. He's obviously not a part of the plan.
Last season on loan, so
yeah.
He's basically played pre-season and a bit under Rusk, and I think he played roughly about 2 games under Charlie at the beginning of his reign.
I was shocked to see that he played in the 5-3 against Bolton.
Did he?
Yeah. And did he not score in a game last season under Charlie as well? I'm sure he scored one from like 25 yards out, and it was just one of those games where we just beat some absolute fodder 4 or 5-0, and everyone was popping up with goals.
And that was something that came up yesterday. So I'm going to mention. I feel like if I'm going to be super critical of this season, it's that we've stopped obviously putting teams away. So we've lost too many points from games where we're 1-0 up, we've been the better team, and we don't come away with the 3 points and so on. And yesterday struck me that it wasn't so much the strikers, it's just that final third. It's composure in that final third. Hippo gets in round the back and then just doesn't even smash it at the keeper. He just passes it straight into his midriff from tight angle, and we got round the back a few times and just did nothing and so on. So, but I don't know. It's just we need some quality in that final third. But I don't think it's the strikers. I'm going to go out on a limb. I was going to say I am happy with the 4 strikers we've got. Paddy maybe drops in as a 10, as we've discussed before. For me,
I'm going to continue to bang that drum.
How long Wootton's out for? He's realistically probably out at the beginning of the season, I would have thought. Certainly not going to do pre-season, which then puts you back a bit. But I think that's where we look like we might need just that little bit of quality. Is it that we need the strength in depth in the wing-back roles so that they get rotated and the fresher? Because Rydell's been injured. Noyle's had to play every minute of every game and look dead on his feet the last 2 games. That's where a lot of our threat comes from. So, Southam Hale's back, pushes Noyle, rotates, fresher players. That might work. Can we do the same on the left? I think Ethan Pye coming back.
That's the one that excites me the most. I think I won't be surprised if he's pushing for a spot. Because obviously Hussey's not the. Obviously jury's out on whether Hussey will get a new contract or not. But if we could get Pye back in, maybe under. There's been a few rumblings about I can't remember his name, but he was playing for Bradford on loan from Huddersfield, and he's getting released by Huddersfield.
Who's that?
I cannot remember his name for the life of me. All the football names have gone out of my head now until August.
No, season's finished, hasn't it? Yeah, no need. Yeah.
That's
bear in mind that out of contract, we've got 3 centre-backs, haven't we? Hussey, Johnson, Byrne, all out of contract. So theoretically could walk. Davenport's out of contract, Hinchliffe, and the other keeper, Bobby Jones. They're the ones out of contract, aren't they?
And then you're looking at. I mean, I don't really want to use the phrase deadwood because that suggests they're bad players. They're just not in the plans. But the likes of Quigley and Crankshaw have a year left. So you'd expect we'll be trying to move them on because if we get some sort of fee for them before the contracts run out.
Ethan Ross is another one who is still under contract and obviously probably won't play another game for us.
Loney's is fit. Aaron Rowe, Joe Grayson, who's never played a minute, as far as I know. Since
The mythical Joe Grayson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say a lot depends on how fit Wotton's going to be come first game in August for the other end of the pitch.
Yeah.
Midfield doesn't worry me, even if Collar goes. I think it's they've got to bring a body in. They probably need somebody. But I thought Sass was absolutely off the scale brilliant yesterday. Crosby was unreal as well. I thought Camps was okay. I thought he was. I mean, he wasn't as good as the other two, but I didn't have a problem with him. And I wouldn't be upset if that was the backbone of our midfield with Hippo and so on. Ethan Pye can play about 4 positions because he can play left wing back, he can play left centre back, he could play that in a 2 or a 3. So he gives us quite a lot of options, but he is only 19, 20, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So you'd probably want the experience of Hussey around for another year, I would guess. I would hope, personally. Claire obviously doesn't agree, Hannah, but that's another matter.
I know. I'll talk to her later. I like it.
Control your friends, Hannah.
Older woman.
I want to see the age profile of the squad. Oh, me using phrases like age profile. Oh God, give me the shivers. I definitely need some time out. If we can bring the average age of the squad a bit down, we've got the likes of Paddy and Sass, who I wouldn't be surprised to see one of them leave, perhaps if Paddy is going to move into a more attacking. But then again, we don't tend to play with a traditional number 10. So if we want to have Paddy as a number 10, this is getting far too tactical. This is for someone who drank for 16 hours yesterday. I'm surprised that I don't normally get this tactical. This is horrible. Someone say something.
Ryan Johnson, that's always a controversial one.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about him.
I'm not sure he'd want to stay, to be brutally honest, because I think he probably wants to go and get football elsewhere. I can't see him. I can't see him being offered anything, let alone wanting to stay. If I'm being brutally honest, because I mean, when did he probably last play? I think he played at Crewe, didn't he? I remember that because he had a decent effort. But I can't really remember him getting on the pitch after that. Neil Byrne. There you go. I'll throw that one in. Where are we standing on that one?
Yeah. I'd be happy if we did give him another year, perhaps. But he might be at an age where he wants to get a 2-year deal for the security. So whether we can give him that, I don't know. But he's good to have as backup for. I'd rather have him in the centre of a 3 as backup to Horsfall than either side, personally.
Yeah, I like it.
This is the exciting time, though. You think it's all over, and then you've got the release list to come, and then it is 3 or 4 weeks till the fixtures after that. And no one else seems to be making signings. I think the biggest signing in our league so far has been Andy Cook signing a new contract at Bradford.
He's not moved.
That's literally it so far. I thought teams would be getting ahead of it a bit.
It's interesting that. I was going to say, Aguier was rumoured to be going to Bradford, whether he'll go as well, or whether he was intended to be backup for Cook if they couldn't sign anything.
Aguier is pretty much the only striker I can name in this league, apart from Cook and Smith at Salford. There's 3 strikers I can name in this league, and 2 of them are all. So we don't need that.
We no doubt will get linked with Cole Stockton for the next month, like we always do. I've seen it in the comments. I just don't think. I don't know. I'm going to go out on a limb. I've seen a lot of people saying we haven't got a 20-goal striker. I think we've got one. I think Tanto's going to be absolutely electric I think we've seen the little signs in the last 5-6 weeks since Woods has been out. It changes the way we play a little bit if he's playing without Woods. I think he can play with Woods. I think he can play with Paddy. I think Paddy could play. I'm sure, I was trying to rack my brain, I'm sure Paddy plays at 10 a few times last season in the National League. But I can't think who would have played up front other than Quigley and Connor Jennings. Is that what we played as a front two?
Quite possibly.
With him just behind. So I'm not saying you would start a game like that, but I know for a fact that when Challoner came in, he wanted to go and blow teams away in the National League, and that showed that it was kind of we wanted to be 3-0 up by half time and make them change. Did he have a change of heart in about October and decide that we weren't capable of that and we needed to go with this kind of get a goal and not sit on it, but play on the counter? And the problem is we played on the counter but not scored on the counter most of the time, and hence winning games by the odd goal and so on.
I mean, that's all season we've looked more. We've been more solid and functional than spectacular, and I think yesterday's performance was very much another good word coming, microcosm.
Oh my goodness!
A microcosm of that. Not just a pretty face, Mark. Not just a pretty face.
Philosophical and microcosm and
judiciously.
Which I couldn't even say then.
No. I mean, I don't think I'd be able to again, to be honest. I think I can't wait it off time.
Magnanimous earlier on in conversation, so can I have that?
100%.
I was being very magnanimous on the train. I shook hands with Carlisle.
The exciting situation it was used in was because my youngest son said, "No, it's all right. You can have that last Yorkshire pudding, Mark. Dad, you know." And I went, "That's very magnanimous of you." And he just went, "Why? Why do you have to do it like that?
Why are you like this?
You know I don't understand them." And I did it, wryly. Anyway, moving on.
Going back to the mention of Tanto before, I'm willing to take some of the blame for yesterday because I've said all week I was going to wear exactly what I wore last week. I had the same underwear and socks ready, same jeans ready, and then I bottled out of wearing my Tanto t-shirt because it's white, and then I knew it. If we won, there was going to be like 24 hours of drinking like dark fruits, and it wasn't going to.
Was it maybe the whitewash problem that all us parents can relate to? You just never got quite enough. Yeah.
No, I've got plenty. I've got plenty of whites, me.
Yeah, and then it's.
Do you want me to bring them round for you?
Have we got an old county away top I can chuck in and some socks?
Yeah.
It's a dilemma. Not enough whites to warrant a wash,
I went with the black t-shirt and it was bloody sweltering. I mean, it was probably sweltering anyway, but in a black t-shirt,
yeah.
I almost took it off at one point. There's some lads in front of me who took the tops off, and I thought maybe I could do that. No, it's not me. That no one needs that.
There was aircon struggles on our bus. The back wanted the aircon, and the front didn't want the aircon. I was at the front and wanted the aircon, so I was like I was drumming it for the lads at the back, and it was a constant battle. But it came down.
What you should do in that situation is just pull over at the services and just fight it out, like the old days.
Well, we did pull over. We did Watford Gap, which brought back memories of getting beat by Peterborough in '92, and that was one of the last times I cried at football. So yeah, Watford Gap 1992, sat on a curbstone waiting for a new driver on one of the official coaches, and I sobbed as about 19-year-old. Yeah. So not the profile you want as a 19-year-old lad, but so yeah.
It's all right now. It's okay now. The world's moved on. If you want to cry,
it hasn't, because we stopped at Watford Gap for a change of driver. So the world hasn't moved on. The world has stayed exactly the same. It's just the driver was already there.
Around Watford Gap, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's just the driver was already there yesterday, so it was quite a fluid changeover. Apart from the need for 40-odd blokes to all visit McDonald's at the same time as 2 coachloads of Carlisle fans, who were all incredibly nice and pleasant.
Everyone was very nice.
Patting each other on the back and so on. It was all just a bit too nice.
Makes you sick, doesn't it? It's bloody horrible. We've covered the game in a medium level of detail, so that's
Yeah.
something.
For
But
us.
For us, yeah, this is this is as good as it's ever going to get. Like, there's been actual like tactical insight and stuff here. It's been mental. I might come with some diagrams next week. There's Hannah, you have some reasons to be cheerful, do you know?
Oh, I've got a whole list of reasons to be cheerful. I should have done there should have been, how many are there? 1, 2, there's quite a few. We'll start low end and then we'll get, progressively more reflective and, not quite being so excited about going to Hooters.
Yes!
So-
That was being purely ironic. I'm actually allowed near women in real life, so I don't need to go to Hooters. I'll be fine. You know what I should have done? I should have learnt the bass line to "Reasons to Be Cheerful" by Ian Jury, and I could have played it under your. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
everyone. I've let everyone down.
So, but
Nobody
there are
let anyone down here.
we don't have to go to Exeter. That would have been a really bloody long way.
Yeah.
Morecambe's lovely for the seasides. Another reason to be cheerful.
Yeah, but we're getting them in November. We're getting Morecambe in November.
That'll be fine. I think my favourite one is that Steve Bellis gets to have the summer off and doesn't have to spend the next 2 months hawking that bloody trophy around Stockport.
Yeah.
Have a break.
My friend who he's found himself staying in the same hotel as the Carlisle team last night, but decided to attend their promotion party as a Stockport fan. So he's got selfies with them all wearing their medals, which is great, but woke up to breakfast with the playoff trophy paraded through the breakfast room. So, mix for my mate Dazza.
It's not a bad trophy, is it? Really, I'm surprised that. Oh, nice.
It was a very big one as well. Wasn't it?
That's the only one I saw.
I mean, a bit too big if you ask me.
I mean, so big they had to put a DJ on wheels and put it down the other side.
What else is there? Oh, I think that probably this is a massive hypothesizing. That's quite a decently long word.
I'll do the long words, Hannah. All right.
Season tickets
Very
probably
magnanimous,
won't
yes.
go up as much as they might have done if we were in League One.
Take that.
That's that cheered me up.
Let's go with that.
And my only other
I
one.
think they were going to be the same price either way, and it was just to give us the
reckon?
lull. Yeah, I think they were going to be the same price either way, but now we'll think it's less of a price increase, even though it's the exact same one we were going to have.
It's all the strategy. And my other, you sell your soul to the devil, don't you, for all the the things you'll do if you get promoted. I'll stop, don't drink, so I can't promise that, but I did say that if we got promoted, the first away game I would go on the Crofter coach. So driving home last night, that suddenly occurred to me that I've got at least a season where I don't have to commit to that. Someone screenshotted the tweet and kind of keeps sending it to me. So I'm good for that. No Crofter coach for me for a season, and that's a bloody good reason to be cheerful, I think.
I've got another one. Accrington. I've not been to Accrington.
Oh yeah, who are they?
Yeah. That's a new ground for me, Accrington and Morecambe. So 2 relatively local new grounds. Way, there you go.
The same. I've not been to either. So yeah, I'll take that as well. See, these reasons we should have started with the reasons to be cheerful. Well, no, because if we started with that, we'd have nothing to do now, and I'd just be naming the long words that I know.
What else did I come up with? Oh, Harrogate gravy. That black sheep gravy is absolutely amazing. I know people don't like Harrogate. Claire hates Harrogate, refuses to go.
Bad memories. I've told my Harrogate story too many times on here. I'm not going to it again. It was
back
horrible.
on the swing and so on in that,
Yeah.
Harrogate.
It's gonna be fine. Crawley, all the Crawley shenanigans. That's always good for entertainment.
Are we designating Crawley as the official banter club next season then? Are they the ones we're just going to watch and take the piss out of all season?
It's just the whole the Crawley Town Supporters Club voted, like, had a vote of no confidence in the two of the owners. So Preston, I can't remember what the other one's called. Chris, is it? But nothing's happened. So that clearly is going to carry on into.
God, it sounds like politics.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's. I could.
Everyone's
get
on
obsessed with
virtual, I think.
Crawley and
They're
the goings
virtual,
on.
don't they?
Yeah. The holograms.
Hologram.
That, as we know, that's the mine for a hologram, apparently.
All right. I'll take your word
Oh,
for
it
it.
is now. It is now. Yeah, I'm just bringing these things in. All my long words and that as well. I'm on fire.
I think
God,
I think just being thoughtful for a moment, it is going to be a lot tougher next season, League Two. There's a lot of teams on the up or going to be on the up. I think Gillingham are obviously going to be very, very decent. 2 coming up from non-league, as I like to say it that way still. They're obviously going to be after. I don't think Notts will be as strong, to be brutally honest, because I think they'll probably lose a few players. But we know the other one won't be too shabby. And let's hope they don't have a good start to the season, because otherwise that'll be hell. Yeah. Who else is going to be good? Obviously, Bradford are going to be up there. But we've got to be positive. Reason to be cheerful.
Yes.
Form table, last 35 games.
Yeah.
We are the best side in League Two. And we didn't even play that well. So we play better, and we play for a whole season. We finish and we go up. Next reason to be cheerful. We've improved our league position for the 9th successive season. If we do it a 10th time, thank you, Des Hinks, for the facts, we're up. There you go.
Are we sure it's not? Are we sure it's not already 10?
It might be. I'm relying on Des, young Des.
I mean, maths isn't my thing. I'm all about them words. Clearly.
Well, perhaps we need more than Susie Dent as a co-presenter. Just picking up on a comment there. Perhaps we need Rachel Riley as well, if bring maths into it.
I don't like Rachel Riley. I know I'm in the minority. She strikes me as a horrible, horrible person. Who do you hate off the telly, Hannah?
Everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not Rachel. Yeah, Rachel. Yeah. Who do I hate off the telly? I don't know. I generally like. I'm, all sweetness and light, and love everyone equally. I'm sure I'll think of someone in a minute, and it'll be like Tourette's. No.
Yeah. There's a guy on History Channel, Hitler. He looks like a random. He's always on as well, like constantly. He's like Stephen Mulhern.
I was just going to say Mark Pugash.
I can't get on board with Pugash. I like Adrian Childs. I'd rather he was still doing ITV football.
Yeah, and
Adrian
obviously
Childs strikes me as the type of bloke I could be mates with.
We can't mention Matterface because that's another one, isn't it?
He's going in the reses as well.
From Ian, last 2 times we finished in the playoffs, we've won the league the next season.
Absolutely. There we go.
I'll take that.
That's the. It goes back to what I think Ben Walker said it when he was on a few weeks back, and that it's always felt more like one of those seasons where we just miss out and go on to do it the following season. So, but it was never as drastic as it was last season. Last season was the one that we needed to do it then. So that's it's all.
It didn't feel going into the end of this season like there was the level of peril that there was. Like I have genuinely felt kind of lucky to. Someone said at the beginning of the season, right, you can finish 12th. I totally would have taken it. That there are times those first 10 games again because alphabetically. And we're going to start above Wrexham. It took us a little while, and we were, 21, like around there, and it felt, it was a little bit worrying and concerning. But I think, the way we crept up, and then to finish 4th, incredible. Really is.
Yeah. Really was.
What's the chance that Wrexham might change the name to AFC Wrexham just so they can be above us?
No, they'll be AAFC, won't they? Because it won't, one won't be enough.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go to the Stoke Stadium. I mean, so they've got Stoke Cold Brew Stadium, and their training kit is sponsored by Betty Buzz. Both products not available to buy in the UK, but the Stoke thing's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm surprised that. I mean, I know if Edgeley Park was renamed, we'd just call it Edgeley Park. That's just what you do. But still, there must be some of their fans for whom it grates, as it would if it happened with us.
Yeah.
But if it's
whereas we've gone the other way.
Yeah.
We've gone the other way in our past, as you can see in the background there. We were sponsored by a beer that can't travel outside Stockport and still tastes good.
Yeah. And well,
Moved off
to be honest,
it.
recently it can't travel inside Stockport and taste good, mate. It's ooh. Some comments on the celebrities, because this is the way we're doing this show now. It's up to me. Adrian Childs needs a charisma transplant. So do I. So that's why I could be best mates with him. Stephen Mulhern grinds my gears. He's just so constantly smiley and nice. I don't trust it. Yes, correct. This has turned into like Alan Partridge now. It's like, who's the best Lord? Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Dance, or Lord of the Flies? Phone in now. Oh God. Oh, I think we're close to having to wrap it up there. Hannah, tell us about the Real EFL podcast before we all.
The Real EFL podcast is 2 episodes in. We're covering League One and League Two. So it would have been lovely if I could have done League One and Liam could have done League Two, but it clearly wasn't to be, which I'm actually quite relieved about because I know nothing about League One, which is why I took myself off to Sheffield Wednesday and Bolton. Research. So yeah, we're 2 in. We're doing 1 tomorrow, I think, and then we're having a week off and then coming back with all the transfer stuff. So it's complementary to the Scarf Bagara War. We don't do live. We can't, after the technical hiccups we've already had, that would be unwise. But yeah, it's aiming for about an hour a week and guests from all sorts of clubs across the 2 lower leagues. So yeah, I've been enjoying it.
And more
and it's available on all major podcast platforms.
And I don't doubt some rubbish ones as well, probably.
Yeah. Apparently there's a Google podcast. I didn't know that. Amazon
started. Yeah. All that. Well, what we'll do, we'll put the link in the episode description and people can check it out. Mark, have you got anything to push?
No. Absolutely nothing
at
all.
Take note. That's how you do it.
Yeah. I'm just having a few weeks off football and things now, so
I'm so glad there's no summer tournament this year.
I feel exhausted, We've had summer tournaments, World Cups in the middle of the season, County always do well after an England win and all that, and it's just felt like it's non-stop for about the last 3.5 years. It's like there was a big stop for some reason. We stopped football and then we haven't stopped since. So, sunny in May. It's like May 2020 all over again, isn't it? No football.
Except I'm not making banana bread and cutting my own hair. So.
Me neither. Yes. But I have had a Yorkshire pudding magnanimously.
Magnanimous Yorkshire pudding.
The dictionary he read in May 2020.
Yeah. That was it. It was either that or go along with Joe Wicks. So it had to be the dictionary. Before we do wrap up, Mark, what are you putting in the reses?
Well, related to the last couple of days, I'd like to put traditional extra time back into the reses and pull out the reses silver goal, not golden goal. I want silver goal back. Chef Wednesday still beat Barnsley, which upsets 2 people who tried to rob my seat. And there'd just be a lot more fun because I've sat through 2 extra times in the last week that were dreadful. So I want to put traditional extra time in the reses, and just in case it's still swimming about there, rescue silver goal.
Well, weirdly enough, at the Salford, the second leg of the Salford game last week, someone when it went to extra time, some bloke in front of me in a county shirt turned around to me and said, "Oh, is it golden goal?" I said no. And then as it came towards the end of the first half of extra time, he turned around and asked me if it was silver goal, and I was just taken back to the late 90s. Jamiroquai were riding high in the charts. Rolf Harris was that lovely guy who hosted Animal Hospital. It was a simpler time. I was a child. I had hope.
Philip Schofield was married and just fingered glove puppets.
Yeah, we knew though. We knew. That's the clip. That's the clip of the photo show. Sorted. Hannah, what are you putting in the reserves?
I'm putting in 6'9" Thomas Holy for his shithousing, his water bottle shenanigans, his I don't know whether it bothers the players, but if one kind of iota of his messing about upset our lovely Ryan Rydell, then he can stay in the reservoir forever.
I mean, whether it upset the players or not, it bloody upset me.
Yeah. Did you see him just before? I think it was that massive save was it in extra time? And then he with the ball and like properly fronted up to the to our end. Never wanted to punch someone so much. Actually, that's a lie, but I did really want to punch him.
He's on the list.
Yeah. It's a long list, but you know, he's high up at the moment.
I always wonder when goalkeepers are indulging in a bit of shithousery, I always wonder what it is that they're saying to like the next taker. I always because they always go up to the next taker and like get in the face. I always want to know what they're saying.
Yeah, the shithousery yesterday. It's just very simple. Book him the first time he does it. He can't do it again.
Mm-hmm.
But
that can go in the reserves as well. Referees with an aversion to booking goalkeepers. They just don't like booking keepers. Full stop.
They don't like booking it for anything like that. Yeah, shithousery in general. I was Boreham Wood game last season at home. I was on corporate or hospitality or whatever, so I was sat behind the bench, and there was a lot of time wasting. You might remember in that game, the home game, the Boreham Wood one, and I actually yelling at the fourth official, just book him. It stops it. But we all know what you're going to do. We know you're going to book him in the 89th minute and it won't have any effect. And Luke Garrett, isn't it, the Boreham Wood manager, turned around and went, he's got you nailed, hasn't he? And I thought, even they know, and they're doing it, and you're doing nothing about it. And that was another one yesterday, the shithousery, wasn't it? Yeah, arms out on the 6-yard line. Book him, sort it out.
Well, we're on refereeing decisions. Once again, I agree with what's going in the reserves. I don't know when we're going to get to the point where we have one that me or Russ don't agree with. I think we're still months off that because there's so much wrong with the game. Yesterday, refereeing wise, where the hell did 9 minutes come from? 9 minutes.
We had 2 water breaks, didn't we? I don't know how long they add on for that. It felt like a lot. There were a couple of injuries, but
I think it was time added on for people still coming back from the food outlets at half time.
I did. I had a very dry burger at Wealdstone, so I was fine.
Wow, was that a dry burger? It's not often that the onions are the high point of a burger, is it? Yeah.
Just all the juice out the onions.
Yeah. I felt like after the game because a few were queuing up. I just thought, do I queue up for an onion balm cake? Yeah.
Oh God! Oh well, it's been brilliant having you both with us. Thank you very much for joining me and for sharing your experience of what could have been a more traumatic. You'd expect it to be a more traumatic day, really, but it's all right.
What are you putting in the reses?
I did before the Wembley DJ, wheels and all.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, some of the names we've had mentioned. I mean, Stephen Mulhern. He can go in if you want. It's not football related, but see if he's smiling then.
If we put enough in the reses, does it help with the plans for the pop side in that it'll solidify the ground and it's easier to build on?
Ready-made foundations.
Does it upset the wildlife? Yeah. Stephen Mulhern, does he upset the wildlife?
But there's all the West Ham fans as well. So
yeah,
strong base.
Yeah, that's it. I don't. Maybe they'll make recommendations of the pop side. You know, like in Harry Potter, where they go to where the Ministry has been taken over, and they go and all the benches are made of like crushed up muggles, and like dead muggles and stuff. Maybe they'll do that with the new pop side, and it's just like Stephen Mulhern, the lady DJ from yesterday, and a wheels. Yeah, maybe that'll be the new pop side. I'm in. I'll get onto the architect first thing in the morning. Right.
Let us
I'm
know
sure
how
there's
it
some
goes.
moral implications, but yeah, they definitely respond to people like me, you know, the local gobshites. Right, we're getting. I'm nearly as delirious as I was this time last year. Make sure you both stay on the line after we finish, so I can thank you properly, because we always forget that, and people just leave, and then I'm just sat here on my own staring at myself, and I've got a lot of looking into the mirror to do after yesterday already, so don't want to do any more. Right, if you've enjoyed this, don't forget to hit the like button and all that caper, and subscribe and stuff like that. Oh, I'm stalling because every time I do this, I always lose the button. Like I can never remember what button to press. Right, I found it. No, I've not found it. No. See, it's gone to shit now. That's a season of podcasting done. We've probably got one more or two more
Russ
left to
is
go.
like rocking somewhere, going, it was nearly all over.
Yeah.
So I
It's
say
nearly
good
finished.
stuff until you found it. Good stuff.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not good stuff though, is it? I mean, when Russ says good, well, no, because when Russ says good stuff, it's normally in response to me saying something that's got nothing to do with it, and it's definitely not good stuff. So
We've had lots of
I found
reasons
the
to be.
button now, though.
We've had lots of reasons to be cheerful. We've got good stuff all coming. We've got a season where we're going up.
And Russ is back next week, so that'll be of interest to people. It's going to be good. I found the button now. That was some good stalling now. Say goodbye to everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
That's not this
everyone.
podcast. That's the other one. Oh God, I'm losing it. Right, bye everyone.
This episode of the Scarf Bagara War was written, recorded and produced by Russ Johnson and Nick Lee. The music on the opening titles was produced by Dan Johnson. Subscribe wherever you get your content, as well as finding out how to join the TSBW fan club. Check out the links in the description or go to all the W's, scarfbagarawar.co.uk.